Hey there folks, Lucifer Lakeborn coming back at you with another video. This is just a completely off the wall video. No real super big planning for it. Whatnot. Just sort of the mood struck up on me. Earlier today, a person left a comment on my old Sith video where I was talking about how Sithism is a derivative of Satanism. It is one of the denominations of Satanism. And this person brought up an old subject that goes way back to when I first tried to start up a satanic organization way back in the late 2010s, or the late 2000s. The year was, I think it was 2008, 2009. And I was a much younger man then. I was in my late 20s. And I had tried to start up a satanic organization. I actually mentioned this in my introduction in the Satanic Testament, which I'll be getting to that here in a little bit. The organization was called the Dark Church Satan, and it was back during the days of My Satan, which was an old website that was on Ning, and it was sort of this, sort of like a satanic MySpace. For everybody who remembers MySpace, it was, the thing back in the day. What Facebook is and Twitter is now. Facebook was just starting to come out still then. It was still very young. And everybody was either on MySpace or one of the other smaller websites. Yeah, excuse me. I have no AC in here and now I'm sweating. So, he brought up a subject. Now, back in those days, everybody was snipping and sniping at each other. Everybody was having clashes with everybody else, differences of opinion in methods of satanic practice and, belief systems. And there was a huge big movement towards atheism thanks to Peter Gilmore and the Church of Satan pushing atheism, and we now see atheism all over the place in Satanism. And it comes back to this old movement. Back then, everybody was arguing and fighting with each other. And I ran afoul of Chloe Ortega, who was WSA 352, Order of the Nine Angles, and her and I started getting into it all over the place. And one of the things that she did was she started rounding up YouTubers or whatnot to kind of come after me and run my name into the ground. One of these individuals was Jason King. Now, before I go any further, Jason King, I have no problem with the guy. He slammed on me back in the day. I slammed on him a little bit. He tore me up and down one side and down the other. And pretty much I sort of faded into oblivion for a while there. To recoup and just recollect myself. I still published my book and whatnot. And that was the end of that with Jason King. Well, this commenter brings up this clash and said that, was like, didn't Jason King already take you to task and for being a wannabe? And I'm like, who the hell is this guy? Why are we even bringing up old dead subjects? By the way, Jason King, he's written a couple books himself, just like me. One of his bestsellers, you can find it on Amazon and Lulu.com. I recommend people go and at least check it out if they're curious. It's called Postmodern Satanism. I've not personally read it, so I can't comment on it. But if you're familiar with Jason King and who he is and stuff that he's done, there you go. There's a book by him He's actually got a couple out, and if you're curious, you can go get them and read up on what he has to say on Satanism. And you can find his stuff on Lulu and Amazon.com, just like you can find my stuff on Lulu and Amazon.com. So, what went on back then? I want to talk about it. I was a naive individual. I was a young man. I'm now 40. I'm about to turn 41 here in the next few months. And I started up a small little satanic clique, online startup organization back then. Everybody was doing this. Everybody wanted to be the next Anton LaVey. And, you know, people were snipping, they were sniping at each other. Everybody was calling everybody a fake back then. And here's the thing. Where are most of the individuals who partook in those wars back then? They're not around. I actually looked into Jason King today, and he's still into Satanism, but all of his old videos are gone. Even the one where he went up one side of me and down the other, where he called me a clown and everything else. Avenger Satanis, his books are still around, but he's not really still around. Yeah, I just recently ran into Grand Magister Blackwood. He's changed quite a bit. Back then, nobody really liked him. He was a big mouth, he was a braggart. Now, man is humble. He actually is quite likable now. That's weird to say about him, considering how he used to be. And me? Well, I'm still here. I went into seclusion for a while, but I'm still here. Not only did I go ahead and publish my first book, which is this one right here, and it's just the Satanic Testament, I added to this book. 10 years later, I came out with a second edition to it, much thicker. I added to the book. A year after this, I just recently published a third edition where I further added to it. Don't worry, I'm not adding anything else to the Satanic Testament. This is going to be the final edition for a while, a very long while. But on top of that, I didn't just stick to that. I wrote his novel, Gotham Saga, Dark Awakening. I actually put my occult knowledge and whatnot into writing a fictional novel, a fictional story. And I returned back to Satanism and wrote my own grimoire book and published it. I'm currently working on a sequel to it. It's called The Black Grimoire. And then I adapted a book. I published this. Why am I showing this? Why am I talking about that? I have other books written that I have not published yet, that I'm going to be working on. I'm currently working on writing certain books. Why am I talking about this? 10 years ago, I was a loser. I was a newbie in the field of Satanism, and some guy, a bunch of people, went up one side of me and down the other, and I still stuck with it. Yeah, I was out of the public eye for a while, but a few years ago I came back. And anybody who's been watching this channel will tell you that I'm certainly nothing like 10, 12, almost 13 years ago now. Back then, everybody was after each other. Now, most of those people are gone. They're not even in the spectrum of Satanism anymore. Only a small fraction of people are still in it. Recently, Chloe Ortega left. her and I made friends. This was a woman who had attacked and went after a bunch of people. Caused a lot of problems and mischief. Caused me a lot of problems and mischief. She turned around right on this very channel and apologized. She actually caught me in one of my videos and said, "Hey, I'm sorry." We started up an email conversation. We became good, good acquaintances. So for an individual such as this person, and I looked on his channel, he's got like 4 videos, where all he's doing, and the majority of these videos, is he's complaining about somebody who is pushing right-wing politics against progressive politics, and he was complaining about them. And then the third one was comparing Trump to progressives. And that's all. And that was stuff that he had posted years ago. And I'm sitting here going like, damn, why are you criticizing me when you haven't done shit? Who are you? And I'm looking at that guy right now, and I'm going to post a link to this video on his video so he knows I'm talking about him. I'm not going to say his name because I'm not going to give him the credit of that. If he wants to address me in the comments below, he can go and do that. So I'm going to address this. Yes, Jason King and I clashed years ago. It was done. It was over with. I'm not going to sit here and slam on him. I'm not going to sit here and call him a clown or a fake or whatnot. He calls himself that he's a clown. He actually calls himself that in his videos. Great, grand, wonderful. If you want to go check out his books, go for it. I recommend it. The guy has been around, and he's still around, even though he doesn't show his face in videos anymore. I was looking at Jason King's videos, and there's a huge time gap. He disappeared for a huge, big, long while, and then a bunch of his videos are gone completely, including the ones where he attacked me. I don't bear the man any animosity. The guy has done well for himself. Great. He gives away his books. My books are a little bit more expensive. I hate the fact that I have to do that, but if I want to have them on the global stage with modern inflation, I've got to have them more expensive. He's willing to give away his books. I'm not quite so fortunate as him. I want people to have my knowledge, so I try to do as much as I can to lower the price. But the fact of the matter is, he's gone out and he's done things with his life. He's actually written books. I've written books. Dude, what have you done? Who are you to criticize me? Who are you to try to pit him against me again? I do not have a problem with Jason King or any of the other people who may have come at me years ago. Why? Because most of them, they're gone. They're not here anymore. They're not in the field of Satanism. The ones who stuck in Satanism, hell, they're friends with me now. That whole situation has completely changed. They have most of them, either they don't talk to me, they don't have anything to do with me. Jason King is in that category. If he wants to talk to me, great, grand, and wonderful. If he doesn't, okay. The others, they've either apologized to me and become friends, or they've been like, oh, hey, how's it going? You're a nobody. Before you go onto people's channels, mouthing off do something with your own life. Do something with your channel. Instead of trying to call people who actually do this stuff fakes and wannabes. I've published enough books on the subject. I've designed my own sigil. I have it in a pendant, which, by the way, these will be up on the website for sale here very soon for really decent, reasonable price. You can get them there. I post monthly ritual videos, do live streams every full moon for people on Facebook because of COVID. I do high masses every month. What are you doing? You're criticizing one little video that I did 4 years ago, 3-4 years ago, about Sithism, and you're going to sit there and call me a wannabe? You're going to sit there and try to rekindle an old argument between me and another individual? No. Go out and do something with your own life. Go out and do something with your own self. If you want to have a standing argument, actually do something with your channel. Instead of just whining and griping and pissing and moaning and leaving little trolling comments. I don't know why I felt the need to make this video and post it addressing this individual. This person is such a small little troll, a pissant, that they normally would not even warrant a video like this. Certainly not a 16, almost 17-minute video. But his touching on the Jason King subject made me want to make a video about this and address the matter. So this is me addressing the matter. I've actually done something with my life. I've actually stayed in the field of Satanism. I've shown to countless people I'm not the would-be wannabe. I'm not the same individual that I was over a decade ago. I've stuck it with it since then. I've written my books. I've expanded on my books. And I've published more shit than you. So if you want to go starting problems, go elsewhere. You're a nobody until you actually do something for yourself. And until then, everybody, tell me what you think in the comments down below. If this individual wants to comment down below, I'd love to see him try and actually stand up and make an argument for himself. But until then, I'm Lucifer Legaborn. Like, share, subscribe. You know the sigil. You know the routine. I'm out of here.